As with all legal things, we have to give our legal advice regarding what we're just showing you here.
The purpose of this video is to provide basic orientation on how to operate the LMI installed on this and many other mobile cranes, and how to interpret the information on the screen as well as the signals it provides to the crane operator. This is not a training certification class, and the LMI installed on your particular machine may vary in appearance and operational characteristics from this unit. The operating manual supplied with your crane should always be your primary reference guide.
Okay, go ahead and get her started up.
Hit the clutch in, HPTO, release the clutch. This turns on the crane power, powers up the LMI computer. This switches over to your crane throttles. First screen is your operation codes. Number 1, main boom, no jib. To change the operation code, you just use the arrows. If you have a jib, you would use jib stowed or jib on stowed and actually pinned. Jib telescope, man basket. Man basket with jib, and so on.
ABC will only have main boom, they will not have jib or man basket.
Okay, so they will stick to main boom, no jib stowed, number code 1. And hit OK to confirm. Our outrigger is properly positioned. Hit OK to confirm. Is crane level. Hit OK to confirm. Reeving is the number of lines you have coming off your winch.
And more than likely ABC will only be using one line, so they won't need to go to line 2 or line 3.
Okay. Just to change it though, you would just use the arrows to go up or down, depending on how many lines. Hit OK to confirm. That's your operation screen. First one is current weight. This is how much weight you can pick at that angle. This is your radius, the distance from the load to the center point of rotation. This is the number of reeving. This is boom tip height, boom length, and boom angle. This is your capacity bar. That alarm is the ATV weight. When it is raised, to override it, you hold this button and you can continue past the weight. To silence the alarm,
how long is that silencer for?
Until you hit it again. So you re-hit the weight. To set limits on here, hit and hold the LMI button, LIM button. You could set your angle limit. You want me to actually set them?
Sure, go ahead and set once just so they see what you're doing. So this would be used if you didn't want to
go past this. It wouldn't cut you out, but it would sound the alarm to warn you that you are reaching your max angle
of what you set.
Yes. So right now we are just raising the boom to the max angle we would want. For example, 22. Hit OK to confirm. You could also set a minimum angle, which would be the exact same procedure.
Okay. And you would do this if you were near power lines, for example, if you didn't want to go too high or too low,
exactly,
or whatever. You can set your limits in one position so that an alarm would sound if you were going to be going beyond or below the limits that you set.
Exactly. There you go. The A indicates an angle limit.
So how do you erase that angle limit?
So right now, I set my limit at approximately 21 degrees.
So that's this angle here. This is reading it. There we go. The
right
alarm
there.
sounds.
Once I hit past 21 degrees, it just sounds the alarm. It does not cut me out, just to warn me. The same would happen for a minimum angle going down.
So once you go within the safe area, the alarm stops.
Yes. What you are is you're creating an operation window that you would want to stay in.
And is that only for boom up or boom down?
No, there has. If you go back to limits, that was your angle that we did. You could do your radius, which is pretty much a distance away from you. So let's say there's about 50 feet from you, there's a set of power lines. So you can set a radius limit of about 40 feet because you want to stay about 10 feet away from it. So, and what you would do is telescope out. Right now my radius is 30 feet. I just set my limit. So we'll say, and the R is going to be for my distance away from me.
So if you want beyond that, the same alarm would sound.
Yes. 33 feet. And again, it does not shut you out.
All right.
To delete the limits, go back to limits. Go to the limits that you set and just select delete limits. And the A disappeared, which means that that limit has been erased.
So now we're back to the regular screen.
Back to operation, yes.
Okay, so it's showing that we have 1,200 pounds on the hook that were available for 6,100 pounds. That were 28.8 foot radius. We are on 001 sheave. I'm sorry, we're on one sheave here.
Yes.
Our boom angle is 17.4 degrees. Our telescope out is 30.6, and our height above the ground is 20 foot 4 inches.
Correct.
Okay.
Now there is also the tear. If you are lifting, let's say, if you're using a hopper,
Or a set of forks, perhaps?
Set of forks. You can lift the forks. The forks will have a weight of, say, that's 500. Your weight will show up here on weight lifted. You can hit tear and it will re-zero it and it'll only weigh what is it on the forks.
Okay. And does that go away when you release the tear button?
Yes, you just re-hit it and it'll reset.
Okay.
To go back to change your operation code for any reason, you would hit page and it brings you right back to the beginning.
Okay.
And you can reset anything if you decide to unstow your jib or add a second line or anything like that. That's how you would return back to the front without shutting the computer off.
And then you have to go through the whole setup page again, saying okay.
Exactly.
Okay, that brings you back to the operation page, which you'll normally be watching as you're operating.
For any reason you get an error code for the computer, if anything happens, this key right here would override the system. These two lights flashing indicate computer is overridden.
Which two lights again?
The hook, which was the actual override button,
okay,
and the stop button.
Okay.
Those two flashing mean that the system is overridden.
You can still operate the crane, it's just that the system is being overridden.
This is in case that you get an error code, the computer senses a problem and it shuts you out completely, and this override button will not work. You could use this to close up the crane only. Because it does override everything.
Okay. Alright, then we'll go ahead and stow it back up and you'll hear the sound when we're going to hit the NI2 block. When we raise the hook block into the downhaul weight of the NI2 block system, you'll get an error code and it will stop you from being able to raise the hook any longer. Go ahead and raise the hook up. Nope.
Can we winch it up?
Yes, winch it up so they can hear that the NI2 block alarm is sounding. Once the weight is lifted, you can hear the tone coming from the NI2 block. The NI2 block will not allow you to telescope out any longer or winch up. To bypass the NI2 block so that now you can stow it, you just press and hold the override switch that Chad is doing now. You'll still be able to winch up, but the alarm is still going. If you wanted to make it so that the alarm sound wasn't beeping, you would just have to press number 6 button, and that would make it so that the sound is not going any longer.
Correct.
All you have to do then is just tie your load block down and you're ready to go, and then just reverse the procedure coming out, turning off all your switches inside.